Alright, story time. So, briefly mentioned this before in the past in a Vlogmas a couple days back, but I have a teammate, part of a group. We're a group of 5, and we're doing a capstone class. Now, for some of you who don't know what a capstone class is, basically a capstone class, it's basically a class where you take everything you learn from your major and it's applied to this one specific class for a project. Our project is to basically find a small business and kind of design a system for them. Find a problem that they have currently with their system that they have now and see a way for us to either improve it or actually make a system that would help their production even better. We're doing this project, and from the start, we have this one teammate who seems like he's a bit of an iffy kind of guy. You know, he's kind of here in class, kind of not here in class. He's all over the place. And we're coming up with project ideas. No one's really stepping up to think of any project ideas, so I step up, and then another guy steps up, and we're going through it, and we're talking about the project, and we get to the point where we have to sign up for specific parts of the project that we're supposed to do. Projects are split up into 5 different deliverables, and in each deliverable, there are sections or parts for different members to be able to do. You sign up for whatever part you want to do, and basically we have to have an even amount of points distributed between all of the members. All the members did that except him, the sign-up sheet, which is just you putting your name down on the sign-up sheet of which parts you want to do. His excuse was, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get time to do it. I didn't have time." Red flag. That's red flag number 1 for me already. But I didn't want to cause a scene because it's just a sign-up sheet. You just put your name down on the document, and that's not that hard. I was like, cool, whatever, but it was a red flag for me, definitely. First deliverable comes, he's not part of it. Second deliverable comes, he becomes part of the project. Now, admittedly, he did do this part somewhat correctly. He was missing a couple portions of it, but this deliverable itself wasn't that hard. It was very easy, it was straightforward. You just needed to create some features or requirements for the system to have. Not super hard. Then deliverable 3 comes. And mind you, I want to remind you that everyone in this has to present their part of the deliverable. This will be, and it's hard to say with my retainers on, but everyone has to present their part of the deliverable, and he did it for part 2. But this is where the second red flag came up for me, and it was a part where you have to create a diagram. Now, diagrams are not necessarily easy, but also not necessarily hard. It was very complicated in the beginning just because this is our first time doing this type of analysis and making a system. So our first diagram wasn't going to be perfect, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. However, he was supposed to make the diagram and never did. Came down to the wire where it was 1 day before it was due, and I had to keep pressing him about it for 1 week. I told him about this for 1 whole week, and I told him, hey, can you get this done? Other people are waiting on you. No reply. No reply. Silence. It comes down to 1 day before the deliverable is due, and he goes, hey, can someone help me out with my part? Now, this is your part. Everyone else is doing their part. We're waiting for you at this point for your part. And now you ask one day beforehand for help. That was my second red flag, where we were constantly reminding him, but there was no answer from him. Basically, it was like talking to a brick wall up until something was due. So he says, sorry, I haven't been communicating. My dad is in the hospital. He's been in and out of the hospital. It's been rough for us. Now, I am a very empathetic person. I get that you have trouble at home and your father is going through something. I get that completely. So, being the nice person that I am, I stepped up and I did his portion of the deliverable, right? And I put the PowerPoint together for his portion, and all he had to do was say what was on the slides. Now, Professor asked some questions about his portion that he had to do, and obviously he had no idea what was going on. What I did for the diagram wasn't perfect either. And again, it's my first time, so I didn't expect it to be perfect as well. Resubmissions come along. So I expected him to step up and edit or revise the diagram that I made. A day before the resubmissions are due, he asks again, hey, can someone do this for me? Now, because I was tied to his part of the deliverable, I stepped up again because I didn't want my grade to be affected. So I redid the diagram, and I asked them to just look it over. Not 1 second after I asked him to look it over, and I'm not even exaggerating you, not 1 second, he goes, I'll look it over. Then a minute later, he looks at the diagram and says, oh, it looks good. He wasn't on the right diagram. He was looking at the old diagram, not the new one. I called him out on it. And I said, you're looking at the wrong one. He says, and this is where it gets interesting. He says, yeah, I was looking at the old one just to see where the mistakes were. I just wanted to see what was wrong with it and compare it to the new one. Oh, this guy! Stop bullshitting me. Because I know for a fact you did not take 1 second to look at the new diagram. Or the old one, for a matter of fact. You just wanted to be like, oh, good looks. It looks good. It looks good. And just go on with your day. Now, deliverable 4 comes around. His portion still not done. The day before it's due. Holding up multiple team members again. Not me this time. Multiple team members, though, are held up because they are waiting for his portion. Doesn't know what to do for his portion. Even though there is an example in the book that he just has to follow. I gave him the page in the book to look and to follow. And guess what he does? He copies and pastes that exact example and says, my portion's done. That example had nothing to do with our specific project. He has to fill in the graph or the table to basically mesh in with what our project was. Example, for one of them, it's supposed to be an alternative to what system we can use. And it's supposed to be a web-based system. He just made up a system that meant web-based, basically the equivalent of web-based system 1, 2, and 3 as the 3 alternatives. And then for the criterias, he wrote criteria 1, 2, 3, not actual criterias. He just said criteria 1, 2, and 3. Now, if that's not the laziest shit that I've ever seen in my life in college, at a 400 level course, a senior course that you're supposed to take, a course that you have to take right before you graduate or along the lines of when you're supposed to be graduating. If that's not the laziest shit I've ever seen, then I don't know what is. This is one of the most annoying teammates that I've ever had to deal with in all of my college projects. I've never had to deal with someone this annoying. And again, he makes the excuse and keeps bringing this up constantly that, hey, my dad's in the hospital, tough times are tough and it's been rough out here. He constantly has to go into the hospital and I have to constantly take him. I have empathy for you to an extent, but you keep making that same fucking excuse. You keep making that same excuse. On top of that, it seems like every single time that there's something due or we have a presentation or we have an exam, you keep bringing up the topic of your dad going to do something. He has to either go to the hospital, he either has to go to get paperwork done, he has to get a surgery conveniently on, this is where I'm trying to get at. He has to get a surgery conveniently on the last presentation that we had. He only presented one time out of the 4 he needed to present. He has said that his dad needs a surgery the day that we have our final presentation. He even asked when our final presentation was. And it now, to me, which I feel like he's just lying at this point, like, it seems like he's just lying and making up excuses what's convenient to him, that he's just trying to get out of everything, out of every presentation, out of doing any of his portions in the project. The thing is, and you're never going to see this because I know for a fact you don't follow my YouTube channel, but I know for a fact that you're going to fail. You failed 5 out of the 6 exams. And I know you're going 6 for 6.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
You're like MJ at failing quizzes. And quizzes are worth 75% of your grade. Now, this whole semester he's been talking about, oh, I'm going to graduate this semester, my dad's going to be super proud, my family's going to be super proud. I don't know what they're going to be proud about because you're not passing this semester, period. And it's not because I'm going to give you a shitty report for your peer evaluation, which I am, but you failed all the exams. How did you expect yourself to pass? This project was worth 25%. Now that's a big chunk, but even if you don't do the project, you could have passed this class with a C. But you didn't because you didn't do well in the exams. But still claim that you're going to be graduating this semester. You can't graduate without passing this class. So, that was my rant for today. I really didn't get to film much today because I was doing my project. I had a final and I got an A on. But yeah, that's my rant for today. I'm going to be doing more of my web page for my final project. It's 1 in the morning right now, but this is the only time I get to work on my web page just because I have multiple screens up here and I can see all what I'm doing. Much easier for me to work on here than on my laptop, so I just sleep down here in the basement and work on my project. But yeah, that was my day. I just wanted to share that story because that was the bullshit that I was basically dealing with this whole semester. And yeah, it was exhausting, like extremely exhausting dealing with this guy this whole semester. But I don't know, I just feel a sense of joy knowing that he's not passing this class, because I think it's comical right now that he thinks he's still gonna pass this class. But yeah, I just wanted to rant that because, you know, I needed to get minutes up in this video because we didn't film much today. But thank you guys again for again following us, watching our videos, and yeah, just this Vlogmas stuff is kind of hard just because, you know, I'm still finishing up school, and my brother's currently working, so, you know, he doesn't really have that much time to film, but we're doing the best we can. But, you know, some days are not going to be as eventful as other days. We really do appreciate you guys watching these videos and, you know, commenting on the videos. I've seen the comments actually in the videos previously, specifically with Milo. Everyone loves Milo, but yeah, we appreciate it a lot, and keep watching. Our production is going to only get better over time, specifically after I graduate, or when my classes are basically all done. I will be putting more effort into the production of these vlogs. So yeah, thank you guys. Good night, and enjoy the rest of our Vlogmas adventures. Peace.